Chuck Loaf here, 1200 Films Podcast, all horror, all the time. It's been a minute. It's been a while. Jesus, we're looking at, 4 months since my last episode? Jesus. I go through spells where I just don't feel like watching films. Because I watch so many at the end of the year that I kind of get burnt out. But I'm starting to get back in the swing. This is episode 88? Jesus. Usually I don't have a theme to my shows. It's just random movies, but bloodydisgusting.com, very trusted site of mine. It's not mine, but you know what I mean. They put out a list of 10 movies from 2022 that they call them hidden gems you probably haven't seen. Well, 2 of them I had. One of them is asking for way too much on pay-per-view, but I was able to watch the other 7 for pretty much nothing. So those are the 7 movies I'm going to be reviewing right now. We'll see if this list holds up. Hidden gems. Of course, the rating scale on the bottom. Dumpster, fire, garbage. And then can't quite recommend. And then okay if desperate. And then put it on the watch list. And then put it on top of the watch list. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. First one. Hypochondriac. IMDb has this as a 4.9. So this gay man who has a pretty good life starts spiraling out of control mentally. He has a good job. He has a boyfriend. But he starts worrying about every little thing. Kitty, shush! Psst, quiet, I'm talking. And he starts worrying, and things start to get out of control, and there's a lot of things that have been done in other movies, and if there's a lot of things I saw coming. The ending was predictable, a little too predictable. The acting was good, but other than that, meh. Okay if desperate. Next one. The Loneliest Boy in the World. This got a 5.3 on IMDb. For those that watch the Game of Thrones, this had a young Hodor. The big kid that played the young version of Hodor, he was one of the town bullies. And what's going on in this one, this younger guy, probably in his late teens, early 20s, accidentally kills his mom. And then he goes to a mental institution and is then let out. But then is told that if he doesn't make some friends, the judge may put him back in the mental ward. So this boy, this young man, decides to go up and dig up some fresh corpses and place them around the house. And those are going to be his friends. And those friends kind of turn into more of like a family because they start responding to him. And you're thinking, is this all in his head? Or are these dead people actually talking to him? Fascinating film. It's very lighthearted. I know it sounds weird, but if you ever see Warm Bodies, remember that movie where the girl fell in love with a zombie? It's kind of along those lines. It's not really a horror, but it was kind of adorable. And the zombies are dealing with things a zombie would deal with, like rotting flesh and limbs falling off, the usual. But again, it's not really a horror. I'd say it's, I guess, put it on the watch list. Not strong on that though. Next one, the Andy Baker tape. This got a 5.8. This is a found footage movie. So Andy Baker is this popular YouTuber who does video vlogs of whatever. He's kind of a upper class snooty kind of guy. And he finds out he has this half brother that lives out in the boonies. So he goes out, so he's making this video vlog of him going out to meet his half brother out in the sticks. And it's a little awkward, but they hit it off, I guess. And then the snooty one kind of convinces well, I guess I got that reversed. The half brother that he's just meeting convinces the snooty one, let me ride with you back to where you come from because I have a repair job or something to do. And so now they're on a little road trip together, bonding sort of. But things get awkward, things get weird, and the half brother is a little unstable, and it kind of spirals. One of the better found footage films I've seen in recent years. So again, I'd say put it on the watch list. It's decent. Next one, Revealer. 4.5 according to IMDb. So this how do I describe this movie? So this chick is gets a job as a stripper while there's a religious protest going outside of the strip club, and then Armageddon happens. Yes. And so then one of the religious people she had a interaction with earlier, she kind of sneaks inside, and now they're kind of reliant on each other to try to survive this, whatever exactly is going. It's an Armageddon type situation. It's the best way I could describe it. It's bizarre, but not exactly great. Not really good either. Can't quite recommend. Good concept though. Next one, He's Watching. 3.8. Another found footage one. So this little boy of maybe 12 and the older sister maybe 15, 16, they're left on alone in the house, and the parents are on vacation. And then there's someone else in the house. The first half of this was so good. And I understand it was made with no money, nothing. But the first half was brilliant, but geez, the second half struggled. It struggled mightily. It killed it. So I can't quite recommend that one either. Next one, An Ideal Host. This got a 5.7. There's been a lot of these type movies lately. These upper middle class people have like this little dinner parties, get-togethers with champagne and friends and family and yada yada yada, and things spiral out of control, as does in this movie. It's not quite like the other ones, but it's along those lines. It's good enough to keep you watching. It's okay if desperate. If I said much more, I'd give it away, but whatever. I think it's free on Tubi, so. And the last one, I'm not giving any of these any special reviews like I usually do, because none of these movies are really that special. They're just okay. The last one is The Harbinger. 5.8. Might be the best of the bunch. Maybe, Loneliest Boy in the World, even though it's not horror. But The Harbinger, okay, so this one. So this woman gets a call out of nowhere that her best friend from college is struggling. And what is going on is the Harbinger, which is some demon, has attached to her and is slowly driving her so crazy that she eventually die. And that's what the Harbinger does. It kind of, once it gets its claws in you, it kind of digs deeper and deeper until you lose your mind. Good acting, good concept. The movie, the part that killed it, Kitty, seriously, was that this is a pandemic movie. Everyone in this movie is wearing a mask half of the time, and they're all paranoid about social distancing and leaving the house and quarantining. You know what? It's too soon. It's too soon. I lived it. I wore a goddamn mask every day for a year and a half or however long it was. I don't need to see a movie that's all about it. So, yeah, that kind of killed it for me. But it's not bad. Okay if desperate. It's yeah. This list was okay, I guess. It was okay. Nothing I would say that I would call a hidden gem. No. Do a little better, or maybe this was the best there was for underground horror for last year. I don't know. Whatever. The next episode probably isn't too far away, as I've already watched several more movies, mostly from the 80s. There's this YouTuber called Movie Timelines who is watching every 80s horror movie and reviewing them. So I'm kind of watching that to get ideas. The ones that he says is okay or better I've been watching, that I haven't seen before, obviously. But most of them have not been good. His idea of an okay movie is not usually not okay. But he is doing the dirty work for me, I guess. It saves me the trouble. And then there's a couple movies I just kind of randomly stumbled upon, and you know how those go. Either really good or really bad. And one of the ones I watched is one of those. But we'll get to that on the next episode. So until then, see you later.